Minister, I want to welcome the bill before the House this evening. I understand the inconsistencies and the oversights which this legislation is seeking to correct, and I also understand the other issues also that it's seeking to address. For my contribution, I want to speak about the technical changes and the impact that these changes will have for same-sex couples. While I welcome this legislation, it is important that we are cognisant of the difficulties that the state has caused for same-sex couples through the slow pace with which this legislation has been progressed. Given that this bill will address typographical errors made to the Civil Registration Act 2004, as amended by the Children and Family Relationships Act 2015, I would also like to seek the Minister's guidance as to when it is envisaged that Part 9 of the Children and Family Relationships Act will be enacted. Same-sex couples have been waiting for years for all the parts of the Children and Family Relationships Act to be commenced so they can register as legal parents to their children. Currently, only the birth mother can register after she signs an affidavit stating that she is the sole parent. The non-birth mother has no legal relationship to their child. It is a ridiculous state of affairs, Minister. When the child has two mothers, two parents, only one can register as the parent. It's not fair for those kids growing up, and it's not fair for those parents. The outworking of this means that beyond the non-birth mother not being able to register as the child's mother, this parent can face difficulties in giving emergency medical consent for her child, in having custody rights to her child should the relationship break down, in applying for a passport for her child under her citizenship, and in having succession rights for a child if the mother dies without a will. This is really unfair. I have met the parents affected by the outworking of these anomalies and the implications of the failure to commence Parts 2, 3 and 9 of the Children and Family Relationships Act on them and, more importantly, on their families. Had this matter been prioritised by previous Ministers for Social Protection, we wouldn't be here today. This matter could and should have been sorted. The state has a long history of leaving members of the LGBTI community behind. We've tried to move past that, but the failure to enact fully the legislation to help these same-sex couples, it does have the effect of leaving them behind again. I know it's not the premeditated intention, but that is the outworking of the failure to prioritise it. The Government originally stated that Parts 2, 3 and 9 would be commenced 12 months after enactment. This didn't happen. The Minister for Health gave deadlines to commence Parts 2 and 3 following this. Not only did this not happen, but the deadline was missed 5 times. In July 2018, the Minister for Health brought the Children and Family Relationships Amendment Bill 2018 to the Oireachtas, which cleared up typographical errors in Parts 2 and 3. He stated that his intention was to commence Part 2 and 3 in October 2018. This didn't happen, and no further deadline has been given. Minister, why has it taken the Government 4 years to commence these key parts of legislation? If it's not negligence, then what is it? Furthermore, why did the Department only realise in the last 8 months that it needed to fix typographical errors, and why wasn't it realised in the intervening 38 months? While I welcome this legislation, same-sex couples need full information and committed timelines so that they can be certain that their rights will be delivered on, and when they will cease to be forced to live in a worrying grey area due to government inaction. I hope, Minister, that you will be able to give some commitments here this evening. Gurmaigat.